Greetings everyone, this is Pintpot. Welcome to my new show, Climbing the Curb. The purpose of the show is to help new players have a better experience when starting playing Planetside 2. To this end, I'm going to walk players through the early stages of the game, some of the basic game mechanics, and also what sort of classes you can play and what you can do with them. There is a brief tutorial, but after that you're pretty much on your own, fired directly into combat. After completing the tutorial, you are asked to hit the instant action button, which will transport you directly into combat, as I'm about to demonstrate. Planetside 2 has a pretty steep learning curve, and being fired directly into combat can be a pretty confusing experience. I'm going to see if I can take some of the pain out of that process by this little guide.
Always remember, you're new conglomerate. That means you're fighting for more than just some facility. Good luck down there.
So as you can see, I've been dumped right in the middle of the combat zone. My first response is just to make my way into cover. The default class you're given to start off with is the Light Assault, which has the ability to fly for brief periods of time. All you need to do to activate this is to hold down the space key. When you land in a zone like this, enemies could literally be around any corner, and as a result, it's very easy to die within the first few seconds, as I just demonstrated. Then we have the kill screen, which tells me who killed me, how much damage they did, and with what weapon. But hang on a second, let's take a second look at that. Okay, let's stop it there for a moment. Now in the bottom left hand corner of the screen is the mini-map. Now a quick glance at this tells me that my allies, the blue ones, are behind me, and the enemy, the red, are in front of me. I can also see that 2 of the 3 capture points are owned by my own side, the blues. In the background there is a tower with a red flag on it. That indicates that this base is owned by the Terran Republic, the TR. In the foreground there's a gun turret with a little red indicator over it. That shows me that there is a soldier manning that turret at the moment. So, question is, what to do first? Well, a good starting point is getting directly into cover. Now I know there's at least one enemy soldier in that tower, in the gun turret, but there could be multiple other enemies waiting for me. Therefore it's advisable not to use the stairs, but rather just to fly up to the level above, using my Light Assault ability. First thing to do is to check around to see if there's any enemy soldiers. I can see the guy in the gun turret still there, but he's looking the other direction. Now as I come around the corner I encounter my first enemy. I'll just pause it for a moment so we can get a better look. As you can see above his head, he's got a little indicating marker showing that someone around me has identified him using the Q button. Using the Q button to identify people is an extremely useful ability. It also makes it much easier to track them, as the little marker above their head follows them as they move around the map. However, be careful. Using the Q button to spot people comes with a health warning. When you use it, your character announces aloud what class they just saw. Just like this.
Hostile light assault trooper spotted. Enemy medic in the area. Spotted a hostile medic.
So remember, if you're trying to hide, using the Q button is not a good idea, as people will hear you and come and find you. Having said that, when you just started playing the game, I recommend you use the Q button as much as possible. It makes foes much easier to track on screen, and also adds them to the minimap, assisting both yourself and your teammates trying to hunt them down. With a little more experience, you'll get a better idea of which situations you should use it in and when you should keep quiet. Now I didn't see this guy when I checked the stairs, so he must have been around the other side of the tower. In a situation like this I should have some element of surprise, so the best thing to do is to take them out as quickly as possible. Okay, not exactly perfect, but job done. Down at the bottom is the kill tab, which gives you information concerning the kill, such as the player's name, what class they were, and what rank they were. I am using the centralized HUD option here, which provides the shields and health information for my character in the center of the screen. The default will be in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. As you can see, my shields are fully depleted. If I take no damage for 10 seconds, they will recharge over a 4-second period. Underneath it is the health bar, which is about 3/4 depleted. This will not regenerate unless I meet a medic who heals me or use a med kit, which I don't have. Ideally I want to hide now until my shields regenerate, but I'm afraid I never get the chance. The engineer in the turret comes out and kills me. Given my combined shield and health pool is about 80% depleted, this is not terribly surprising. Though not exactly helped by the fat finger syndrome misclick. And then we get the death screen, which tells me who killed me and which people did damage to me. However, not to worry in the slightest. Death will happen all the time in Planetside 2. The important thing is to get straight back into the fight. Now let's just pause it a second. Now there's a whole lot of information here on the map, but what concerns us at the moment is the flashing green icon. Those are points from which we can respawn. As you can see, it's in the shape of the bus, which means that it's a deployed Sunderer. Sunderers are armoured transportation vehicles and the most important vehicle in the game. By selecting it and hitting deploy, we can get back into the fight almost immediately. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, as you can see here. Now back into the fight. As you can see, I deployed directly next to the NC Sunderer, which has been deployed within the TR control base. First job, have a quick look around to see where the enemies are. There doesn't appear to be any red on my minimap, so it looks the area around the deployed Sunderer is pretty much safe. So what I did is I pressed H to make my minimap larger, so I can have a look over a larger distance to see where the enemy are. You can see in front of me one of the 3 control points for this base. Given it was coloured blue, it means that it was controlled by my faction, the NC. So what I need to do is go to point A, which is still under Terran Republic, the TR control. You can probably notice how the minimap is rotating according to which direction I'm facing. Again, this option could be found under settings, and I personally find it very useful to make sure I'm pointing the direction of where my enemies are on the minimap. The alternative is the default, which always points north. Now a quick look at the minimap indicates to me that there are very few allies around me. It's almost entirely red with very few blue indicators. So the first job is to have a look around to see if there's any enemies which I need to kill. Such as him. When you're just starting, it's best to take some guidance from other players. However, as there's no allies around me, I'm going to stay here, wait for support, and ambush anyone who comes up the stairs.
Enemy engineer spotted.
Though hopefully with better aim than that. In this way I'm securing the landing pad for my allies, and getting a few kills. The important thing at this stage is just to get familiar with the feel of the guns. Still no allies to help me, so again I'm just going to wait here until they arrive and ambush anyone on the stairs. Now the potential time to kill in this game is very short. At this range, with this gun, if I were 100% accurate, it would only take 0.64 seconds to kill my target. This has 2 major implications. The first is that accuracy is rewarded. The second is that getting the drop on people is incredibly important, as their ability to react in such a short time frame is extremely limited. Now some allies have finally arrived, so I want to support them as best I can. Always be looking around, as the enemy have light assaults and infiltrators who can attack from unexpected angles. The same rule applies for them as it does for me. Getting the drop gives a big advantage. As does accuracy, mine being somewhat lacking there. So once again to the death screen, and to redeploying. So, what's the next step? Well, inevitably, get back into the fight. The important thing, especially when you're just starting, is not to be too concerned about dying. Death is effectively unimportant to Planetside 2, provided you have a respawn point you can go to and instantly get back in the fight. The important things are capturing territory, getting kills, and most importantly, having fun. So on that note, I'm going to wrap up, but happy hunting, and in my next episode, I'm going to talk about the various strengths and weaknesses of the various classes, and how you can potentially use them. Have a good one. Pintpot out.